You walk into a room, and without thinking, your eyes lock onto one person. They didn't say anything. They didn't try to stand out. So why them? Why does your brain instantly label them as important? Here's the twist. That feeling isn't attraction. It's something far more powerful. And it's controlling you without you even realizing it. We live in an age where attraction is often discussed as something purely physical, chemistry, looks, genetics. But science tells a very different story. Attraction is social, it's constructed, and it can be influenced by forces you've never even noticed. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and least talked about psychological forces behind attraction: social proof. Specifically, we're looking at why seeing others value foreign women, Russian women in particular, can fundamentally alter how attractive they appear to you. By the end of this video, you'll understand the hidden mechanics behind your own desires, and you may never look at attraction the same way again. Stay with me, because the real twist comes later. Social proof is a psychological phenomenon first formally described by Dr. Robert Cialdini in his landmark book Influence. At its core, it's the idea that when we're uncertain, we look to others to figure out what the correct behavior is. If a restaurant is empty, you avoid it. If it has a line out the door, you assume the food must be worth it. Same building, same menu, different perception, entirely because of other people's behavior. But here's what most people miss. Social proof doesn't just affect what products we buy or what restaurants we eat at. It penetrates something far more intimate. It shapes who we find attractive. Your brain is constantly running a background calculation. Who do others value? And if others value someone, that person must have worth. It's deeply tribal, deeply ancient, and completely involuntary. But why does this happen in the first place? The answer lies in evolution, and it's stranger than you'd expect. For millions of years, humans lived in small tribes where individual judgment wasn't enough. You had to rely on collective intelligence. If everyone in your group was wary of a particular plant, you didn't test it yourself, you trusted the group. Applied to mating, this logic is brutal in its efficiency. If a potential partner is being pursued or admired by others in the tribe, that sends a powerful signal. This person has high value. They are socially validated. Their genetics, personality, or social intelligence must be exceptional. This is what researchers call mate copying. It's been documented in birds, fish, primates, and extensively in humans. The mechanism is so automatic that it bypasses conscious reasoning entirely. Now apply this to cross-cultural attraction, and things get even more interesting. When we encounter someone from another culture, in this case a Russian woman, our brain is already operating with limited information. We don't share the same social cues, behavioral norms, or reputational signals we'd normally rely on. In the absence of direct personal knowledge, social proof fills the vacuum. If a man notices that Russian women are globally admired, in media, in cultural narratives, in the admiration of other men, his brain treats this external validation as credible data. The scarcity and novelty amplify this even further. Something exotic feels rare. Something rare feels valuable. The result? A compound effect. Novelty plus social validation creates a perception of exceptional desirability. But here's where it gets complicated, and this is where most conversations on this topic stop short. Here's the counterintuitive truth. Social proof can make someone seem attractive to you, even when you wouldn't have thought so independently. Studies in social psychology have shown that men and women rate potential romantic partners significantly higher in attractiveness when they are shown as desired by others, even when that social desirability is manufactured for the experiment. What this means is unsettling. Your attraction isn't always yours. It can be borrowed from the crowd, manufactured by perception, amplified by cultural storytelling. Russian women have been positioned in global media, film, fashion, literature, as symbols of a particular kind of feminine mystique. Cold exterior, warm interior, educated but mysterious, strong but alluring. This narrative, repeated across decades of media, has functioned as one enormous, sustained social proof signal broadcasted to the entire world. And the audience received it, even without realizing it. Consider how many films, novels, and television shows have centered on the archetype of the Russian woman. The femme fatale, the ballerina, the chess prodigy, the diplomat's wife. Each portrayal carries a subtext. This is someone of complexity and value. This isn't accidental. It's the cumulative result of cultural storytelling, and it has a measurable psychological effect. Each positive portrayal adds to the pool of perceived social proof that millions of people internalize. When a man encounters a Russian woman in real life, he often brings with him the weight of that entire cultural narrative. She hasn't had to say a word. The world has already spoken for her. Psychologists call this the halo effect in combination with social proof. When someone belongs to a group that carries strong social endorsement, that endorsement transfers to the individual as a default assumption of attractiveness, intelligence, and desirability. And the effect compels, even for people who consider themselves resistant to stereotypes or media influence. The brain is faster than our ideals. Social proof alone is powerful. But combine it with scarcity, and the psychological effect becomes exponential. Cialdini identified scarcity as another key principle of influence. We assign higher value to things that are less available. When something is rare, whether a product, an opportunity, or a person, desire increases. For many men outside of Eastern Europe, Russian women represent a combination of all three intensifiers: social proof, globally admired; novelty, culturally distinct; and scarcity, geographically and socially less accessible. The brain stacks these signals and produces an outsized attraction response. It's not irrational. From an evolutionary standpoint, it's precisely the kind of logic that would help an individual identify a high-value, high-opportunity mate. But there's one more layer, and this is the deepest one. This is where we separate awareness from understanding. Most people who study psychology assume that awareness cancels out bias. If I know about social proof, I won't be influenced by it. Research says otherwise. In a now famous series of experiments, psychologists found that even when participants were explicitly told that their ratings of attractiveness would be influenced by prior social endorsement, the effect persisted. Knowing the mechanism did not disable it. Your brain's social proof circuitry runs below the level of conscious control. It's part of the ancient hardware, not the modern software. This means that when you find yourself more attracted to someone because the world seems to value them, you're not experiencing a glitch. You're experiencing your human hardware running exactly as designed. The question isn't whether social proof shapes your attraction. It does, and it always will. The question is whether you want to be aware of it, to choose, consciously, what to do with that knowledge. Attraction rooted in genuine connection, curiosity, and personal experience is fundamentally different from attraction that was assembled for you by the crowd. Both can feel real, but only one is truly yours. Social proof is one of the most powerful, invisible forces shaping human behavior. It influences what we buy, who we trust, how we vote, and yes, who we desire. When it comes to attraction to foreign women, Russian women in particular, the mechanism is layered. Evolutionary mate copying, cultural narrative construction, scarcity psychology, and the halo effect, all working in concert. You didn't choose these forces, but now you know they're there. Understanding this doesn't make you immune, but it makes you more honest about your desires, your perceptions, and the world that built them. If this opens something in the way you think, leave a comment below. We want to know how it landed. Hit like if you want more psychology content that actually challenges the way you see the world. Subscribe so you don't miss what we cover next. There's another video waiting for you, one that might flip everything you thought you knew about first impressions. Click it. It picks up right where this one left off.